I really like the way you edited it with the split.
Last time I left in the full video, so it felt like we had to be like on the whole time, where I like the idea of just talking like we do normally.
Yeah.
And then some of it makes the video, maybe, some of it doesn't.
So, but do you still want to focus on dating and Tinder?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, it depends how much my feet are just where I feel like a little kid. Like they just about reach. Yeah, I like dating and Tinder. If you have good Tinder stories, I don't have many.
Is it okay that the microphone is here?
So when you talk, if we look at those two levels on top.
Seems okay. So, no, but okay, so what do you think prevents you from being in a relationship?
I don't even know. My mentality is screwed up. So I got married when I was 20, right when I turned 21 years old, and it was a military marriage,
What do you mean a military marriage?
So I met this girl 3 months before I was going into the military, and we were lost love, whatever, I don't know. She was 19, she was 18, then she turned 19. I was 20, I turned 21, so we were both young. We only knew each other a few months, and we both knew I was leaving for the military when I met her, so it was only supposed to be short term, but there was tons of passion. So then I went. We kind of split up because I was leaving.
So you didn't want to you didn't want to end the honeymoon phase, right? Because the first 3 months for me is tons of sex and
yes.
Crazy romance, crazy love, and then it kind of starts fading out.
So that's all we knew was the honeymoon, and we always knew it was coming to an end as soon as I left. Mm-hmm. So all it was carefree, passionate. It was fun. It was awesome. Then I finished up boot camp, and I went to, it's a school, whatever, you go to training, and you finally get your orders, and they tell you where you're gonna go, and I got stationed in Hawaii, which is awesome, but it's really hard to do a long-distance relationship from Hawaii to Tucson. So, or I don't know, we didn't know what we were at that point. We were broken up, but we were still into each other. So it was kind of a thing of if you want to do anything in the next 4 years, then we can either get married or we basically just see where we're at in 4 years, break things off completely.
So you got married and she moved to Hawaii with you?
Yep. Which is kind of cool, except she was a 19-year-old who didn't know anyone in Hawaii. And I was out at sea, deployed 9 months out of the year. So she kind of ended up getting really depressed, really lonely. Mm-hmm. So we were married for 4 years, and it was fun and it was good, but we never should have been married.
Yeah, no one warned you, not to get married?
No, of course they did. We didn't even tell her parents, nothing. They found out during my first deployment. So that was pretty...
That you're married. They knew you were living together, but they didn't know you were married.
They didn't even know we lived. So we got married. I went to deployment a week later. So we met here, we dated here, then we got married in Texas because that's where she was from. Then I left to Hawaii, then I went on deployment. Then after a 6-month deployment, she moved to Hawaii. So the first 6 months of our marriage, we didn't see each other really. And she had to deal with her parents finding out that we got married behind their backs.
So how did you still lasted for 4 years? That's a lot.
Me and her were really good together when it was always honeymoon, because I was gone 9 months out of the year. So the whole 4 years was perfect. Not while I was gone. While I was gone, she was depressed. Her mental health was messed up. And it messed with me too, because I'm sitting on a boat and you can write each other emails, you can leave voicemails, you can call a little bit, but like when she's feeling down, there's nothing you can do. You're like,
So why did you stay in the military? Why didn't you leave?
You can't leave?
You can't leave.
No, that's one job you can't quit. I mean, there's ways out, but they're bad. And you get dishonorable discharge, like that sticks with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like declaring a mental health issue.
Then
that's how I escaped the military in Israel.
Which you can do that, but
in Israel, for example, people threaten you that that there's like implications to having declared to getting out of the army because of mental health issues, but there's no one cares about it in real life.
I think part of that though is because military service there is mandatory.
Yeah.
So since everybody's doing it, people expect you to try and get out. Like if in the US you're volunteering to go serve, so then it's kind of.
But can you change your mind? I mean, you can even get divorced after like.
But people will look down on you if you.
I think that's not true. I have a feeling. I don't know anything about it.
If you tell an employer I'm dishonorably discharged, like
what
you
is
just
dishonorably discharged? What does it mean?
It means that you got kicked out of the military for bad. So like if you ever try to get.
So you see it as kicked out. You don't see it as like asking for a leave.
It's considered dishonorable. Yeah, even if. Unless there are some like valid ways to get out with an other than honorable discharge, but you want an honorable discharge. If you get an honorable discharge, it's like bonus points for everything you do for the rest of your life. Only a few bonus points, but like, so I can go get discounts on Veterans Day at different places and all these other things, like just small things. You get bonus points.
From those people that you're boarded early to the to the plane, right?
That's only like active duty, really.
Okay.
I mean, I don't take advantage of any of my veterans stuff except for schooling. They pay for GI Bill. I take classes using that.
Okay.
But
anyway.
And I wouldn't get that if I was other than honorable discharge.
Okay, we were supposed to talk about Tinder. So you think that's part of the reason that like you're single now, or you've been less successful in?
I think that getting married young kind of screwed up my whole relationship thing a little bit, at least. It had to have contributed. Because I've been in like 2 relationships since then, and neither of them were very serious. And then I've been in a bunch of like not at all, very casual. Like
this
on and off, yeah.
Girl that the one you're friends, but you hook up once a year. But you used to hook up more.
Yeah.
Was it ever serious with her?
Kind of. It was more serious when her life was in a really messed up place, and I'm in kind of like a depressed, I don't know, not doing anything with my life. Like, we were really synced up at that point when she was having problems and I was having problems. It's whenever she's trying to get her stuff together really well that, like, I'm not helping with that. She needs to find something good for her where...
But you're messed up and like quote unquote not doing anything with your life except this like fascinating YouTube channel.
This is one thing that I'm playing with.
But like I see you as I don't know you that long, but I see you as a very supportive person who can be like a positive influence in someone else's life. You're not a toxic person.
I can be. The only thing is that me and her get along so well that she kind of doesn't look for other guys as much where she should be, or she doesn't look for other things. Like, she should be pursuing a career, which she is doing, and going back to school and getting a degree and all of that. So, like, we kind of just use each other as crutches, which is good for me because she's been a positive influence. She's the reason that I started doing the handstand, or learning to try and do handstands, which I tried making into videos. She's the reason I got back into the gym, and I sold one of my houses that I needed to sell. Like, I still have other properties I need to deal with. But she's gotten me doing things where I haven't really gotten her doing as much. we hang out and it's really comfortable and we can talk, and that's helpful to her. But I don't do a good job of pushing her to do more, where she does a good job of pushing me to do more. I kind of just accept her how she is too much, which I don't know.
What's fucked up with her?
Nothing right now. I mean, but
That she's a recovering alcoholic?
Yes. So a few years ago, she was big into alcohol, and that was
How
like
big? What does it mean to be an alcoholic? I really
kind of like that's your whole life is. And I didn't even know it at first.
Like she used to drink during the day too?
Yeah, just always drinking pretty much. It's just a big priority. Like that's your priority in life over other things. I think, I don't know.
That's how I feel about sex sometimes.
See, my addiction is to like comfort and social media. I take the easy path so much, where I should go outside and do something difficult.
So you think that it's better to be addicted to sex than to social media because it forces you outside and to interact with people. It's social.
Yeah.
But it's not media. It's in person.
It's
social.
real social. So it could be bad if it's like destroying your life. If it's causing you to do things that are destructive, then I think addiction to sex would be bad. But if you're engaging in it in a healthy way, where you're out there meeting people that are good for you,
I think I'm engaging in a healthy way. I don't know, but sometimes I kind of like feel bad for Daniel that maybe I'm disappearing too much, or kind of like sometimes I just like have that feeling that I'm running away from myself because of like, and what you said, that like I'm constantly thinking about it and like about how to make time to see this particular person or like go to this new date, but it's not always like that. And also like it a lot of the time it's like also involves drinking. I don't know, so if I drink every day but like only in socially and like I don't know, not more than like 3 beers, am I an alcoholic?
I think it's as soon as it starts to really become like your top priority, where you're doing that over things that you know you should be doing. Like, okay, I should be applying for this job, or I should be making this video. But instead I'm choosing just to get drunk again.
So if I'm here with you doing this video that we like decided that we want to do and set time for it, then I'm not an alcoholic.
I think as long as you're engaging in other things, even like if you're an alcoholic, I think it's better as long as, like, if you're drinking at home alone, I think that's really scary.
Yeah, no, that I never do. It's so fucking depressing. Anyway, okay, Tinder date. So did you have like any awkward Tinder dates except our Tinder date? Was our Tinder
date? Ours wasn't awkward at all.
It wasn't awkward.
Ours was awesome.
It was cute, yeah.
I love that. The best one I've had was a Tinder date that didn't even happen. And this was like when I first got my puppy. So this was like 7 years ago. So I just got this puppy. I matched with this girl who said that she just got a puppy. And she's like, I live right in front of a park. So me and my dog went down there and I picked up some food. We were gonna like go eat downstairs or down at the park. And apparently she had just catfished the hell out of me or something.
Oh no.
But she never even came down. Like, I was sitting there texting with her, and I'm like, I don't really care what you look like. Like, I just want to hang out with you. And I'm like, is the puppy real? She's like, yeah, I do have a puppy. I'm like, well, come down with the puppy. I don't care if you weigh 400 pounds. Like,
and she never showed up?
I'm like, I have food down here too. Like, come eat with me. She said that she was too like nervous now and too like I don't care too much.
So she didn't catfish you, she just like
Well, she did, I just didn't get to meet her. Well, she wasn't the person in the pictures that she used.
Oh, got it.
I don't know what
How
she
do you
really,
know that
she told me that.
Oh, got it.
While she was texting, she like broke down and pictures. Like, I'm not that person. I am here, and I'm like right. She's like, I'm thinking about coming down. So it was just like an hour of me sitting in the park eating food with my puppy and playing in the grass with him while texting this girl who's like, I don't know. So that was my most interesting Tinder non-date.
Okay.
Which
How did their pictures look like?
average. Like, she didn't pick somebody who's like supermodel or whatever, or even just normal model.
So now I understand, like, sometimes people think that I'm catfishing or that I'm a scam. So, and I say, like, I'm not hot enough to be a scam. I look like a real person.
You would be a very good scam, because I immediately thought, that was my first message to you, was you look like a real person.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, I can be lured in by a scam if you just use real people pictures. That's it.
Okay.
What are your Tinder? Do you have any? You probably have lots.
I have lots. I don't know where to begin.
You interact with a lot of people on Tinder.
I do. I'm addicted.
I was gonna say, you just like social, like, awkwardness.
Maybe, yeah. And like, I like the fantasy and anticipation, and I like interacting with people. And also for me, like, I don't watch Netflix, and I don't go on Instagram and stuff like that. And when I want to, like, you know, not think about anything and just like stare at the screen and scroll through something, so I just swipe through Tinder. That's like my relaxation. It's entertaining, and there are like entertaining guys there and girls too. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think like everybody just likes swiping through and seeing people, but you seem to actually like interacting with the people and even going on like bad dates or whatever.
Yeah, so okay, I have something that happened just like a week ago or so. So there's this guy, let's see. Magic hour, we cut the magic hour.
I think we still got a little ways before, but yeah,
there's right. Nice light now.
And yeah, we can actually see the screen. That's kind of cool. My old camera was a Nikon that didn't have a flip out screen, so this is new to me. I like that.
Sorry, my phone is super slow. We need to get followers to get money so that...
Phone service here is crap, even if you have a nice phone.
Yeah. How do you deal with it?
It's crap. I think U of A might have Wi-Fi of some kind.
Hold on.
Maybe, but who knows? I kind of wish that Tinder was more interesting for me. Like, even just bad dates would be something.
No, but for me, bad dates can be like really depressing sometimes. Really depressing.
I don't think I've had, like, the most I can say is I've had really boring dates where there was just zero chemistry and we were both waiting for it to be over.
Yeah.
But I've never had a date that I consider bad. Like, even the one where I never even met the girl and I just hung out down there for an hour, it was better than sitting in my house.
Okay, so I texted this guy, hola, hablas español? Not very well, sorry. I have lived in Nogales, Arizona over the past year though. And I'm like, oh, okay, I assumed you are Latino. How's your evening? A little boring. You're correct, I am. Smiley. Wanna hang out? He asks. And I ask, are you close to downtown? He says, no, but I can drive, not too far. And I'm like, torn between suggesting to have a beer and being cold and tired. And he's like, I could warm you up. And I was like, how? I guess I'd start with maybe tasting you down there a bit. Just a quick little taste.
That was quick.
That was quick. Okay, I'm like rolling with it. Actually, I really engage in, okay, maybe I'm just embarrassing myself, nothing, but like, I was like, not a bad idea. And he's like, yum, where can I meet you? And I said, I can't host. And he says, I can pick you up, I'll host. And I asked, do you live alone? not that I care. I fucked people with roommates before, you know, but like I want to know where I'm at. And he's like, I have a roommate in another part of the house. I can also grab a hotel room too. A nice hotel, the Arizona Inn, if available. And a day later, anyway, it started really interesting. But let's see. No, the point was that, okay, I ended up meeting him because like I thought that the guy that texts those messages is kind of like, you know, a toxic masculinity kind of guy, and I was like always kind of like curious to see the people who are daring enough to, and the guy who shows up to the date was like, I think he was like 40 kilograms, you know, which is like, what, 80 pounds, like this thing, you know?
Tiny dude.
Tiny dude, and he was like, all like super socially awkward. I was expecting like, you know, this tattooed guy or whatever, and he's like, so he was just like awkward, and yeah, and he ended up texting me a bunch about like, I don't know. Oh yeah, texting me after the dev. I'm sorry I was a bit dominant last night. I'm naturally more submissive. I want to get back to aspects of that. Nogales made me a bit macho. It is a tough place, trying to undo that.
Damn,
and yesterday,
sounds like a badass.
Yeah, and yesterday he texted me, I can pick you up tonight. You can dominate me all you like, as long as I get my turn. As long as I get my turn. Isn't he trying to like be submissive? So I blocked him. Anyway.
So this was after you guys did meet up once.
But I told him I'm tired and I want to get home, so yeah. But no, I probably had much more awkward than that. Yeah, I told you, guy with a P. So there's this guy that I actually dated for a while. I think it was like a whole 3 weeks or a month, and I was kind of into him. Like, I liked his look, and he was not bad in bed, and it was like interesting, like this professor guy, and like, you know, this very politically active kind of like fuck the police, fuck capitalism. And, you know, I'm like a hipster, you know, and I'm like into that kind of shit. And he was like into being like submissive, and I'm kind of like into that too. But he was like in a much more kinky way than, you know, I just like choking a person once in a while. But he was like wanting me to force him to do all kind of crazy shit. He wanted me to force him to put on ladies' pants.
Okay.
And he was like...
To force him to.
Yeah, and he was like
verbally or physically?
I don't know, just like to text him to do that. And he also wanted me, he hinted me like, you know, a thick hint that I should ask him for pictures of him in panties. So I was like, you know, I guess I was like trying to impress, so I was going with the flow. And so the funny thing is, like, what I told you, that is like, for me, these kind of people are like doms in a disguise of subs, you know, because he was like very like basically telling me what to do and dominating me to dominate him. So that kind of sucked.
He's aggressively submissive.
He's aggressively submissive, yeah. It was like when we were having sex, he was like, "Okay, choke in my face, hit my balls, come on, hit my balls." So like,
women are kind of, I mean, not anything like that, but they'll be aggressive with that's because they're getting really into it. So maybe it's the same with him. He's getting really into it, and like you just need that to push you over the edge. Like,
yeah, so he kept also wanting me to pee on him, and thinking that saying that if I'll pee on him, he will drink my pee or whatever. Okay, and I was like, I don't know, I wasn't into it, but I thought maybe to try. But one day I was like constantly trying to think what's in it for me and like how can I make it
satisfying or fulfilling for you.
Yeah, about my needs and my, what's the word for it? Pleasure.
Yeah.
So like, I got my period and I was bleeding, and I'm pretty horny during my period. You're laughing.
That's
like
pretty
it's
standard.
You're laughing like it's the first time you hear it.
No, just thinking back. I remember what's coming now. So yeah.
So I was like texted him, hey, want to drink blood? Which for me is kind of like totally like the kind of language or kind of conversation that we were having. So I texted, hey, want to drink blood? And he was like, ew, no, I'm not into that. And I'm like, oh my God, why is pee okay and blood no? And also for me, so it really means that this person is just like everything about, this really proves that is a dom in disguise. This really proves that he's not really into being like submissive and like fulfilling someone else's needs. And also, it's just like he has to be, it's about his feeling of entitlement. He has to be like in charge about what's going on. I'm like, I don't know. So yeah.
So, I don't know enough about the dominant submissive roles really. Like, it just seems like he has a very specific kink with being peed on versus not the others.
But he also could have answered more politely, like it's just kink shaming, saying like something like, ew, I'm not into it,
But also, was he portraying himself to be submissive? Because okay, it just sounds like maybe he's not submissive. He's
no. In the first conversation we had, because his profile said that he's into kink, and I was like, okay, are you sub or dom? And he said he's sub.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Do you run into that like often with subs or not really? Like, is this a one-off thing or is this something that you see again and again?
No, I don't think it happened again.
Okay, so maybe just this one guy, like you're saying, he is dominant, or it's some other weird like psychological thing where that's his way of being in control, is controlling you, controlling him. I don't know.
I think the other way around happens too, which is like a good surprise for me. A lot of guys would say they have the tendency of being dominant, just because like girls are usually, or like a lot of girls are into being submissive, and guys,
that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, like you are, guys who have been with a lot of submissive girls think they're dominant, but it's just like because
it's the default.
It's the default, and because girls have asked them to do so.
Yeah.
So I had like a bunch of men that told me they're like dominant, and then you're like, you have sex with them, and they're kind of like.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually consider myself dominant, but if you ask me, like, are you more submissive or more dominant? I'm like, I guess I'm more dominant, but not really. Like, I like that you make decisions, nothing to do with sex, but just in our relationship, you're usually the one deciding where we go. Like, hey, do you want to go have coffee? I'm like, yes, that's awesome.
I totally imagine you as a sub.
Yeah,
maybe it's like, a new career that like you can start now. Like,
does it pay well or no? I think it's the other way. I think doms get paid.
Who knows? Maybe you can start like a whole new thing. Yeah. It probably pays better than packing groceries at Fry's.
Maybe. I feel like that's just how you end up losing money, is if you're the you end up paying it to the dom. And,
true.
Like, I'm on the wrong side of this exchange.
Anyway, yeah. What else?
Sub-dom thing. It's just really intriguing to me.
It is, yeah.
I don't think of things in that way at all, except that the default usually is that the woman is more submissive in all of the experiences I've had.
Oh, yeah?
There's a few
Always?
times where like, oh, she likes to be on top, but that's not really like dominant. I don't
So
know.
what does it mean for you to be submissive? What do you mean when you say the woman is usually submissive?
So I think of it a lot as like who's leading, basically, like who's the one who's making the move,
Yeah.
who's like actually engaging in physical contact, who's like pushing it to the next level, like,
Or
okay, let's
deciding
get
which
clothes off,
posture
let's
to-
go.
Okay,
Or
got
let's
it.
go back to the bedroom. Like, is it her which sometimes women do suggest it, but they usually do it in a way where they're like hinting to you very obviously, like, I want you to take charge and make this happen now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's kind of how I would describe it. I'm trying to think who like the most dominant woman is, and my mind just comes blank. The closest I come to is girls who like being on top, or who like being eaten out, or who like specific things.
So let's talk about that. You said you don't always eat pussy.
Yeah. I have to be really into a girl to enjoy that.
Why?
I don't know. Because I prioritize my own pleasure too much, maybe. I don't know. So
when you were married,
I was into it then.
you were into it then?
She's one of like 3 girls who have been super into it. So yeah. But that was easy because like if I'm super into it, then yeah, I love doing it. But most of the time I'm not.
Why?
I don't know. It's a very intimate feeling thing, and I'm not willing to be that intimate with somebody if I'm not, like, I don't know if it's in love or what.
Oh my God, I can't believe you're saying this. Thank God we never had sex.
Yeah.
Do you know that okay, this is a funny Tinder date. I actually walked out from a date because the guy told me he doesn't eat pussy in hookups. It was like, we basically were...
See, then I'm not alone.
Oh no, of course you're not alone. I just feel like it's more rare in the US. In my experience, in Israel, people are less likely to do that than in the US.
I think part of it too is some women are weird with it in the US. Like, they're either just really self-conscious where it seems like they're super tense the whole time and they're just not getting into it. So the 3 girls who have been really into it, they all just loved it, and like they get super into it, and you're like, okay, then that gets me more into it.
Okay, so the times you weren't into it, it's because... Wait, let's go back. I want to tell the Tinder story. So I was texting with this guy in Tel Aviv, and I was like, okay, I'll come over one morning. And we were just like in the balcony chatting, and he asked me after a long conversation about other things, he asked me what do I like in bed. And I said that I like receiving oral pleasure. And he was like, but it's not something that you do on dates. It's something that a boyfriend does. And I was like,
I see it kind of like that.
Fuck off. Wow. I can't believe you're saying that. And I was like, and he was like, oh, it's dirty. And I was like,
I wouldn't say that at all, but
it's dirty and it's like can bring STIs. And I was like, hey, but lesbian eat each other all the time, and they're like, statistically they're
less likely to get stuck. Yeah.
And also, if you can put your penis in it, why can't you put your mouth in it?
Guys will put their penis in
Everywhere.
anything. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I can't believe you say like it's a boyfriend thing.
It is in my mind completely.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it is because that's kind of taking a submissive role. It might be partly just mental. Like I'm doing this selfless thing for this person. It might just...
But in hookups,
which is good.
In hookups, do women give you blowjobs?
Sometimes. I used to be. Like when I was younger, yes, 100%. But now that's not a requirement. If she's not into it, I won't even push for that. But yeah, when I was younger, I was totally selfish sexually when I was younger. Now, not so much.
That sucks, you know? I mean, do you acknowledge that it
Yes.
sucks?
One thing I found though, fingers work really well too. Like there's a lot you can do that, I don't know, girls seem to enjoy. That's where I've had the most consistent results. Like girls enjoy sex.
Consistent results. I like the transactional way that you're dealing with it.
Well, if you want to get a girl to orgasm, like fingers seem to be the most reliable. For like, it varies from every girl, of course. Very few seem to actually like orgasm from sex. Some do, but they enjoy sex, it seems like. I don't know. Women are weird. Why don't you guys come from sex? Like, I don't understand that.
I would prefer doing it, but I mean, but it's not our fault, and like,
Fingers, you have so much control over like how fast, how hard, how slow, and you can see how they respond to it. Going down on a girl, you have to know them pretty well to. Girls don't vocalize. They don't communicate.
okay, I do. Maybe that's,
part of it.
yeah.
Because I need guidance when you're just sitting down there for like 15 minutes and you're like, okay, faster, slower, suck.
I mean, you can
what do you
also
want?
just feel the pussy.
Kind of. Like, if you're also using fingers, you can feel it tighten up, but then you're mostly using fingers.
But intuition, you know, like kissing.
Kind of. Girls are so bad. They'll just let you sit there for half an hour and be like, no, that feels really nice. That's perfect. And you're like, yeah, but what's going to push you over the edge? I want it to be better than it just feels nice.
But you can ask, do you want it slower? Do you want it faster?
And I do. And they all just say, no, that's perfect. And you're like, okay, I did two different things and asked you A or B. And they'll be like, both, they're perfect. And you're like, I'm going to strangle it.
But is it like, do you believe them? I mean, in what tone do
I
they
think
say
it
that?
all feels good to them, but they won't express what they truly want. Like they don't want to be demanding or something. Where maybe because you're more dominant, you are comfortable saying, hey, I want this, that works. Keep doing that. Don't change it. Like, I don't think they're demanding enough.
It took me a lot of time and a lot of bad sex. Like, in my 20s, I used to be submissive and like I think the first time I came from sex was like something ridiculous. Maybe like, I don't even know, like maybe in my 28 or something like that, you know? And then I started being demanding. Like for me, there's no way I'm having sex with someone and he's coming and I'm not. Like, no, it's not sex then. Sex shouldn't end when the guy comes.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's where the nice thing is, fingers, it's really easy to either get a girl really close and then switch to sex, or once you finish, you can switch to fingers and like keep going with it.
No, but guys don't
I'm pretty big on that lately.
Can't do anything.
I didn't used to. Yeah, that used to be me. It's after
like,
I'm done, like, okay,
start
let's just lay
snoring.
here and we'll cuddle and whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm better about that at least. But yeah, that was definitely me for a long time. And still probably sometimes. Sometimes you just want it to be like low effort. I don't know. It depends how regularly I'm having sex with someone. Sometimes you just want things to be like casual, fun, not a big production. But if it's someone new, then yeah, you want to make them really enjoy it. That's like the goal.
Yeah, I mean, because like, for me, sex is all about reciprocal pleasure, because like if I want to just pleasure myself, then like, I don't know, I can jerk off, but like...
Women are weird though, like there are so many different things that women enjoy. Men are simple. We enjoy one thing. It's pretty...
I know, it's so fun to discover it.
I've known girls who like really just like it when you play with like right on the side of their breast, or like the ear, playing with hair, all of that is like huge. Where with guys, I don't know, I've never interacted with a guy.
It's always just go for the dick.
No, I like when you do that. Just do more of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But they never, like, if I'm not going to get off from a blowjob, I'll just let the girl know, like, hey, this isn't happening for whatever reason. It's probably on me. Like, I'm in my own head and it's not happening. So let's stop with this. Let's switch to something for you. I don't feel like girls do that. If they're like, hey, I'm not going to come from this, they won't ever stop you. You'll just be like, okay, I've been going down on you for like 45 minutes. What are we doing here? Which is fun, but I need some communication. Like, do I keep going? Do I stop? Mm-hmm. Do I go faster?
So what do you usually do? You stop like at a random point?
Switch over to fingers and try making things work there. And usually you can get there, I feel like. Uh-huh. You just have to find, the biggest thing is getting girls to communicate what they want. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm able to look up and see their face while you're doing stuff with your hands, that you can be like, okay, that's working. That's another thing. Like, some girls like their hands being pinned down or their hair pulled or being choked or any of those things. And you can't do that while you're going down on a girl. The best you can do is like, okay, I can have you on top while we're doing it. Like, you can be grinding. Yeah, there's a little bit you can play with, but
yeah,
for the most part, it's just you're down there. I can change up speed. I can do like a light sucking pressure.
You can do stuff with your hands.
You can, and I do. But you can do that without the oral part too, and it seems to work almost as well. You can use two hands.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
I don't even know if you guys can tell the difference between tongue and fingers half the time. Like,
oh yeah.
If you substitute, so like you just, every once in a while you mix in like kissing and licking and breathing, but you mostly stick with fingers, I think, like in a blind taste test type thing, they can't even tell the difference half the time. But maybe it's different if you're doing like a sucking pressure or something like that. But if you're just doing like,
I think just like a tongue has a very
maybe. I think fingers,
and also, I guess for me, it's like the psychological aspect. For me, like, it's
I think
super
that's a big part of it.
To just see a man here.
So that's
it's
where I'm saying, like, if I'm
on.
sitting down there and my face is down there and I have been going down on her for a while and I am mixing in, like, okay, I'll switch off between just using fingers and licking, like, that seems to work pretty well. And because I have more control over, like, I can consistently get my fingers to move the same speed for 20 minutes, where I can't do that with my tongue as well. Like, the fingers just get her there way quicker. But yeah, if you mix in oral, it does seem to have like some psychological component that gets a girl off more. But fingers, girls like fingers.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my experience so far.
Fingers are okay. Okay, what else? So you were like 2 years off Tinder.
Yeah.
What happened in those 2 years in your life?
Nothing at all. I didn't do anything. And even when I was on Tinder before those 2 years, I didn't really meet up with anybody. I haven't met anyone new. Like, I've met a couple people kind of like you, where we just ended up becoming friends or like doing photo shoots, but I haven't met someone that like I really connected with in a while. Sexually, I guess. Because I've connected friendship-wise, which is cool.
So, like, in the last 10 years, how many sexual partners have you had?
So the last 10 years would be 2013. I got out of the military 2010. Probably like 5. Yeah. So one every 2 years, which doesn't seem like a very big number to me. Because like before I got married, and I got married when I was 21 and I met her when I was 20, I had like 12 partners, and that was in like 2 years probably. So, but it's easier when you're like 18, 19, 20. It's easy to socialize.
I feel like before the apps, it was like easier to just meet in person in real life. Now people just shy away from it. I haven't been hit on in like forever.
On the apps or in person? On the apps, you have to
all
get.
The time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But like in person, no one like talks to you in person. I don't think I I met anyone in real life for like a long time.
Yeah, I do, just because I interact with the photography thing, and that's a really good way to get a dialogue going. But I mean, I haven't hooked up with many people through that. But at least I get, like, I can see how it could lead to more social situations and flirting. Yeah. But just like a stranger, I haven't hit up or like hit on a stranger or made a pass at anybody. The long hair, I've gotten a few compliments.
Oh yeah? It
from
is
random
good.
girls. Well, just, I had never in my life had random girls just compliment me on something. And that one I get kind of regularly. Even random guys, both of them. I got complimented at the gym yesterday. It felt really good from a guy. So yeah, just
Are we losing light?
not on the camera screen.
Okay, I might have to pee soon.
I kind of do too. Drinking a whole bottle of water, and I drank a bunch of water before coming over.
Do you wanna?
Call it and find a bathroom.
Okay, I'm enjoying it though.
Yeah, I like just having a conversation.
Right?
more.
I think I've enjoyed it even. I guess last time there was the wind and stuff.
I don't know if the conversation's too risque, maybe.